Hello and welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. There's a lot that happened again this week, and the first week of 2025 kicked off with some incredible news. Today is the Genesis Day, and in case you didn't know, on the 3rd of January 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto officially mined the first block, which is why we call it Genesis Day with the Genesis block. And in it, he inserted the now infamous The Times message with the second bailouts for banks and a little bit of a political movement there against the establishment. Ever since, in these 16 years, Bitcoin has evolved immensely, and it has really become the go-to alternative either for investors, maybe as a store of value, maybe as something you can track along your traditional investments, or as it was intended, a peer-to-peer currency. Think about the global south, where Bitcoin is being used cross-border as something and as a symbol of hope. However, the store of value function is really something that a lot of countries and a lot of corporations have begun to realize. One of these nations could be Switzerland, and that's the news item of number 1 of this week, where we've seen the Bitcoin initiative being launched. In case you didn't know, if you're not from Switzerland, as a citizen, you have the opportunity to hold a referendum by collecting 100,000 signatures. If those signatures are valid, you mostly collect a little bit more than that, just in case, and you can then send it to the state. There will actually be a national election based on that referendum because you have enough votes from the population to back up that is a key election topic. Now with these initiatives, they got 18 months time to collect at least 100,000 signatures to put it up for vote whether the national bank should include Bitcoin. They want to change something in the law for the Swiss National Bank, Article 9, Paragraph 3, where they would add 2 words and Bitcoin. Currently it says the National Bank should back its reserves with reserves such as gold, and now it will say such as gold and Bitcoin. So definitely a push forward to bring Bitcoin into the mainstream talking point of national banks. I would say that's a big success by everyone involved. That takes a lot of hard work and determination. And now, if you're eligible, if you're Swiss, there is the opportunity to actually collect these signatures. But if we already talk about balance sheets and these kind of things, we also have the corporate news. And that is that this week, Tedar, the largest stablecoin issuer in the world, announced a purchase of 7,629 Bitcoin, bringing its total Bitcoin on its balance sheet to 83,759. Tether in the past had its revenue shares with a 15% mark where they would actually use it to buy Bitcoin. They stopped doing that, and now they want to go more of a free-flowing agreement and a free-flowing situation on the market. That announcement this week comes after last week's announcement where they invested 775 million into Rumble. So Tether is really stepping up and trying to use Bitcoin as a reserve currency and to also push along the adoption of the entire ecosystem. And last but not least, we also have to look over on the Wall Street side of things. After last week, where Strive Asset Management announced a ETF application to track Bitcoin companies with treasuries and debt, we saw Bitwise do the same thing this week, although slightly changed. They have a minimum per company where they're tracking companies who hold at least 1,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet and who are either issuing convertible notes, convertible debt, or other forms of debt to then raise capital and buy more Bitcoin. Wall Street has realized that Bitcoin is a great marketing tool at this point, I would say, because after all, you're not buying proper Bitcoin, you're buying shares into the companies, and these companies use Bitcoin to actually increase the value in the companies. However, it helps with adoption, and it gets the name Bitcoin and that orange logo out there plenty enough. And with that, we're at the end of This Week in Bitcoin. You know the drill. If you got questions, feedback, just want to say hello, leave a comment below. And if you've not been subscribed yet, please do so now and ring the notification bell so you never miss another episode. I look forward to seeing you next week again and wish you the very best of the weekend.